thank you very much. Suzanne Atwell. Presently, I'm an at-large city commissioner, and the past 2 years as mayor of the city of Sarasota. And I have 2 minutes for the...
Sure.
Well, you can cut me off. I'm used to this. I think I'm going to start with, I can't imagine not running again, because I'm not done yet. I've been a commissioner for 4 years, accomplished, I believe, a great deal. As the incumbent, I'm all alone at the forum, sitting up there as the incumbent. That can be a good thing or a bad thing. To me, it's a good thing, because I think I bring the institutional knowledge, I bring continuity, and I bring the experience. Even though you may think 4 years isn't enough, 4 years isn't enough. But I bring enough experience that I want to continue that. And I think I have really changed the course of the interaction of the commission and myself. I think I have brought civility, respect, collegiality, regardless of our votes. And I really believe that, and I've watched a lot of commission meetings way before I ran, and I think I've brought a level of, and it doesn't always mean consensus, it doesn't always mean we vote the same way, but I think I bring a level of respect, cordiality to it. We have a good time. And then we go and we deliberate, and we may vote totally on the opposite side, but we do. One of the other main reasons I want to run again, a lot of people say, you want 8 years of this? Mm-hmm. Yes, I have a lot of energy in me, and this is the decade of my life where I want to devote it to the city of Sarasota. We are debuting a number of direct reports, starting with, before the direct reports, starting with Tom Barwin, Chief Bernadette Tapino. We appointed new CFO, utilities, HR. I'm highlighting my environmental coordinator a lot more. We have just welcomed an economic development coordinator to town, which is something that I started a couple of years ago. I wanted an economic development person downtown. And by the way, that downtown affects every other neighborhood, but we're as good as our core. I want to be front and center to this new staff, because, actually it's a new generation. We've got fresh eyes and fresh faces, and believe me, with the issues that we're going to be dealing with, we will need that. And I want to have their back, and I want them to have my back on all this. And I think of it as a new branding, quite frankly, of City Hall right now. Okay. And we need it.
All right. Perfect. So you did cast, as the incumbent, you cast a vote on the site plan for the proposed Walmart on Ringling Boulevard. How did you vote, and why did you vote that way?
Well, I voted, I was Paul Carajulin, and I voted to deny the motion. That I made my decision, and I want to be clear about this. I have gotten so many emails that, wow, you knew where the vote was going. It was quasi-judicial. I had to vote on competent, substantial, and compelling evidence from the staff, which I believe I got. And I have never researched, read so many papers in my life about a site plan. This was de novo, so I had probably a lot of the same, but a lot of fresh information for me, even though I watched the planning board. We need to be mindful that it's quasi-judicial. There's a big difference between that and legislative. Legislative is a lot broader. You can look to the community a lot broader. I had to look at what was in front of me. I respected all of them, the appellants, the staff, Walmart, all their testimony, but in the final analysis, I had to look at what that evidence was before me, not whether it was Walmart, whether it met the code. I believe it did. I did not tailor my vote for the expediency of getting some more votes. I could have done that. I mean, look, I'm not naive to that many people said, did you have to do that? And I said, I couldn't imagine not doing it. It was my responsibility to vote the way I did. And to speak to it.
Okay. Now, what now though in that area? I mean, it's a pretty dilapidated shopping center, and not much good going on over there. It'd be nice. It's kind of a nice entryway point over there. I mean, what now? What do you do now to try to get something going?
Oh, you bet. If I get another 4 years, at the end of that 4 years, which will be 8 years, I want to go over there and see a thriving area there. It has been blighted for so long. Well, there are a lot of options. We're going to look into redoing our code. We may be going right back in and getting it out and dusting it off. and doing it, looking more into form-based code. As far as right now, I don't see anything coming there right now. In all my term of office, the School Avenue project failed, and that failed because they couldn't get financing, and there was pushback, and that was a tough thing to go through. But in the final analysis, Mr. Burks couldn't get financing. And I know Kelly Kirshner wants us to get in quickly and do a rezone and a comp plan change, and then let's get Walmart back and let's let them tailor it to that rezone and the comp plan. We are doing nothing. I am doing nothing until we know what's going on with Walmart's. They have options here. And I can't answer that. Okay. They've got major options.
Sure. Obviously, homelessness in the city has been in the news quite a bit. What steps would you support taking?
Well, first of all, Tom Barwin and I have been meeting. When he came on board, I immediately got in. We're building a good relationship, and some of the ideas he brings in from Oak Park and other areas, and the way he does it. I always wanted mental health involved. We got the Community Foundation to give us money to get some social workers on the ground. This is what we need. We need the rank and file of the mental health business, and I'm a psychotherapist. I'm the rank and file. I'm not a social worker, but I'm a psychotherapist that has done case management. I've worked with the homeless in this community. I've worked with Salvation Army. Get the people that know referral services, get them on the ground, get them with some of these homeless, and this is not a global or a philosophical or a theoretical approach. We all have those, but we need to start getting like that asset base. Let's get down and then bring up. Let's get the people on the street who know, get them referred to mental health, housing. You bet we need to look at how can we house them on a smaller scale to get referral services. Then I'm hoping that will draw different people to this. We're going to have a fund. You pay into the fund, and eventually we'll get to a one-stop center. Then we may be able to solve some of this. Of course, a lot of that will be who wants it, the county or the city. But right now, boots on the ground, let's get into this. Let's tackle the critical mass that's happening right now. Because right now, you need proaction. You can't wax poetic about it anymore.
So that one-stop center, is that similar to what Bradenton did, I guess?
Well, that's what I'm hoping to join. Mr. Barwin and Mr. Brown are going to go there soon, and I know some commissioners have been there and over the years. I have not been there. How they did it, it's Bill Galbano Center. It's where all the services are met. The problem is, and Salvation Army does a beautiful job, but it's limited. Resurrection House. People keep hanging around. You go in for your services or your shower, then you come back out. That's what's happening on Central Avenue. How do we get a place? I'd like to have a big fundraiser in town that was for a homeless center. We have all kinds of fundraisers, but it's never into the icky part. Like, what do we do? We can talk about homeless children. We can talk about the homeless on a very theoretical point of view, but the city needs to do something. I've had 2 calls with money to go to that foundation, and they're prominent people in town. I said, I have $1,000. Could you put it into the fund? This is my contribution. That's what I want to start. And then it begets and it begets.
And for the caseworkers, I think that most of the funding has been pledged by the Community Foundation, but not all of it. There's a small gap there. Is the city going to, or are you going to support funding the difference so that you can get the caseworker program started? Well,
we're going to look into that. I'm not going to say right now what we're going to do, but we're going to take it very seriously if we can do that. Because I think what's happening with the community, this has to be public-private. With the Community Foundation getting on, I want to look at other foundations. We need to leverage what we've got right now. And the city, you bet the city is involved in this and reporting to the police department in the city. But as far as funding, we're going to look at people, this whole dynamic is starting to have people have ownership of this. And if you have ownership of it, you're going to get more private. That's what I'm hoping at this point right now.
Okay. You've heard the talk about in the community that downtown needs to become more vibrant, quote unquote.
Sure.
So what, any changes that you would support the city commission pursuing relative to downtown?
Sure, and I think that's why these elections are so important. We need to get commissioners that are willing to look at the change that's going on here. I moved here 20 years ago, and I can't believe downtown, how it's become more cosmopolitan, more vibrant. But we also, along with that goes diversified population. We need more people down here that can work. We have, what did I say in my State of the City, 24,000 people that are living all over the place that can't live downtown because they can't afford good rentals. And that's what's happening now, that we need to take the word density and stop treating it like it's the stepchild or the elephant in the room, and start getting it to be a real thing. How do we do this so that when people come, whether it's Jesse Biter or other people that are looking to build units over stores here, the young people are coming anyway. We have young people. We have an amazing musical group. We have people working in stores. We have a new hotel coming. We are already up and running at the Palm Avenue Garage. People have to staff those events that are going to happen there. How many of them can live here? I'm a big believer in rental. But we need to, and that all goes with transportation, quality of life, multimodal, affordability. I'm not sure whether to use affordable housing or attainable. I don't like either word. But how do we get people that can afford to live here that cannot afford $1 million condo? We have got to look at that.
So the condos on the trail facing Van Wezel, Renaissance, as I recall, the two that...
Oh, the Alinari and the many. Yeah.
Those were going to be rentals originally, and then they went condos. So what are there any kind of protections? How do you
that's a good question, and that's a really good question, and I'm going to be front and center to that, because that we have to change, and that goes way back when I first moved here. That it was the dream. And what was it called? The Dream Act. That it's a dream to own. And so condos went ownership, and rental was for people that didn't have a lot of money. There was some sort of a cachet to be able to own, and that still comes up in a lot of neighborhood meetings. Well, so you're telling me I can't own, I can't experience the American dream? Well, quite frankly, the American dream may not be ownership to a lot of people. It may be a good rental that they can afford, and we need to accommodate that. Now, I think that's a shift. We're going to have to start doing that. A lot of people will, of course, want to have a condo, and with the market, maybe they will get a return on their investment. But right now, people want rental. And I think we need to really be front and center to that. Because the mindset, I think, is changing. That when I raised my kids, you didn't raise children in a rental. Even if it was a nice place to, you had to own. That was your entitlement. My parents owned. That's the way I grew up. And you get that attitude that I've arrived because I have a mortgage. Well, some people, you don't want to say some people shouldn't have a mortgage, but a lot of people don't want to. And they want the flexibility, and by the way, the ability to move. Maybe they want to stay here for 5 years, go somewhere else and come back and rent something. We need to have that opportunity.
Where are you on the noise ordinance, and do you feel any changes need to be made there? Anything with that?
Yes, that goes hand in hand. Yes, and I'm a supporter. We're going to take a look at that, by the way, Monday. Commissioner Caragiulo has put that on the agenda with a lot of backup. I know. Have you seen it yet, the agenda?
200-some pages.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to look, but he's got a lot of nice questions that, okay, Commission, what do we want to deal with here? But I love it. I think it's really nice what he's done. What I have said, I've been to both meetings that he had. The first sound ordinance meeting was small. The second one grew exponentially to like 80 some odd people. A lot of back and forth. We need to now frame it. I'm a big supporter of that, because we need to look at that because of the changing dynamic downtown. It has to be diverse, and with that goes, we have the most amazing young bands in this town that I didn't even know about, and I know quite a bit about when I go to events. Some of the bands these people want to work, live, and play downtown, and play. What I'd love to do is, and maybe this is part and parcel to the noise ordinance, and we'll see. All the talk has been to build the bridge and have a pedestrian thing. Gil Waters wants the bridge. Okay, what I'd like to do is just pick a Friday night, work with the DSA, take collapsible, retractable ballards, put them up, I don't know, wherever, 5 points, whatever, make a pedestrian mall, have a battle of the bands, I don't know, whatever, have an event down there that you're forced to park in the garage or out. Come in, see what it feels like, see if people like that. I'd like a battle of the bands because it would be noise, and I want to look at who goes to that. And I want to see what that would do. We have Friday night on Palm Avenue, I know that, where you go into the art shops and sip wine. No, I want something active that'll bring old and young. Chill Lounge we have, that's different. They just block off that one area there to Palm Avenue. I want the Ballards up, and you can take them away, it doesn't cost that much, and have market it, pedestrian night, Friday night, Battle of the Bands. They sign up, DSA has a lot to do with it, whatever, just do it. That would try that, oh, okay, so this is what the bands are and the music downtown. That may go to that issue, I don't know. But I'm willing to look at that. I support Paul, but we need to contain it and frame it so that we all can understand it.
Okay. So, 2 priorities for you in the second term, what would they be?
2 priorities, well, one of them we just discussed is I've been called downtown centric, and I don't think that's bad anymore. I don't think that's bad because I think downtown centric is only going to make the other neighborhoods good as far as getting affordable, attainable housing downtown, continuing to make it more vibrant, get a circulator, get the mobility plan in action. Let's get Sarasota moving. I'm a supporter of that because it's not only multimodal, it's environmental, it's developer friendly when you pay mobility fees instead of concurrency. And the stepchild, the true stepchild, is the Rosemary District. We're on a roll with that, I think. We're going to look at, we've already got some people thinking of ideas of what to do for mixed use there and some of the parcels there. Get some more Citrus Square-like things there. North Trail. Every time I meet with those wonderful people, the North Trail Partnership, a lot is happening there, but more needs to be. We're about ready to vote, and I'm going to vote on it, so I probably won't speak to it too much at this point. I think the planning board voted on the North Trail overlay district last night with administrative review, but with couple of meetings. That's pretty good. That's a precursor to form-based code. Say we go form-based code like Bradenton did on a larger scale. Wow, we could incorporate that into North Trail. It makes it predictable, it makes it development friendly, it makes it urban, it draws us in. Think about that. Again, it's been that way since I moved here.
What does form-based code mean?
It's a more predictable code where when they come in and there are predictable regulations. Mm-hmm. Now, and it is regulations. Right. It's more pedestrian friendly, urban. It coordinates everything with your environment. The form of it rather than what was the old code called? It just slipped out of my head how we based all after World War II, we based all zoning codes on the Levittown. What was that code called? I can't remember right now.
It's okay.
But we need to look at more predictable, urban-based, affordable zoning so that developers can come in. Developers lose a lot of money waiting for community input, and not that we don't need community input, but how do we do that in a way that it's all predictable to us anyway? Bradenton, and I'm still only halfway through, they just did their form-based code and I'm in the middle of reading it. That's a smaller environment, different structure, but it's a plan. It's a plan. North Trail is all over the place. There's so many pockets of zoning that this can't go there, that can't go there, and it's just, it's almost as though we don't know what to do with it, but now with the overlay, that's a start.
Okay, perfect. So, why don't you give us kind of your 1-minute summation on
as I said,
why should you be reelected to the city commission? Why
should I be reelected to city commission? Oh, there are so many reasons that I think I should be reelected to this. I think it's, I need 4 more years to, someone asked me, why do you need 4 more years? When do you ever finish with this job? And I'll answer that. I want 4 more years to continue, and whoever gets elected, if I'm elected, with me, I can work in the sandbox with anybody. I think I have that style, especially with mayor, as being mayor. I was elected mayor twice. boy, did that make a difference in my whole value and my whole reasoning to want to run again. No, it's not the strong mayor, it's ceremonial, but I was elected twice. That's very rare. The opportunity being mayor has afforded me to get to know this city so much better. Hundreds of people I've met, spoke to, and at their events. That counts for a lot. Legacy, as I said, that when I leave, if I can serve 8 years, I want to leave knowing that I left the place better, that the legacy is that you see your name. When I see my name on Robert Taylor or the Mediterranean, now Kingstone. I see my name on the police station, Palm Avenue when I voted for that, the hotel going up. I voted. I voted. That's there because I was at that commission and invested in that, and that's just, I love this city. I've been here 20 years, and I think my background with my soft skills, you hear a lot about in corporate America, soft skills and relationship building. It's about relationships. I don't care what I've done, it's about how I've related to people. And that's what I feel our city manager has. Very important. I'm a therapist, I'm not a planner. But I know how to arm myself with the best and the brightest in this city, and boy do we have them, and especially now with a new day in City Hall, that I'm not a CFO, a planner, an engineer, but I have the ability to meet with all those people and form my own legislative opinions. I craft policy. I don't run the city. I'm not an administrator. I craft policy based on your talents. And I think I'm pretty good at it, and I have invested so much in this city, and the return is amazing. It's an amazing city. And I want another 4 years.